Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Victor Vizcaino. He's a 54-time marathoner and a founder of Express Your Vision Coaching, where he specializes in transformative marathon training that goes beyond physical fitness, empowering people to achieve both personal and professional growth. Welcome to the show, Victor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show, Victor. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll talk about how one can use marathon mindset to transform their life and career. We'll understand all about this. But before that, Victor, let's understand a bit more about you for the audience, about your journey, about your background, so that people know who they are listening to.
Absolutely. I started running marathons at age 38, and it was after my sister dared me to join her to train for a marathon. And I wasn't crazy about running. I didn't like running. It was one of my least favorite activities. My favorite was boxing. I used to do a little bit of boxing when I was young, and then I started doing some weightlifting. But even when I was doing workouts at the gym, I would still do some cardio. I would run on the treadmill, but it wasn't my favorite thing to do. Mm, But I wanted to prove to my sister that I could run a marathon as well, and it wasn't as easy as I thought. It was a very hard training for that first marathon. But once I got into the 15, above 15 miles in the training for it was the LA Marathon at the time. I experienced that runner's high, the feeling that I could, just run forever. And I felt euphoric about it. And I ran my first marathon. And that was the other thing is I was going to only run that one marathon and that was it. I told, oh, that's all I'm going to do. But after that first marathon, I shortly after that I signed up for next year's marathon, and also was trying to qualify for Boston. Somebody told me, "Hey, you could probably qualify for the Boston Marathon," and I thought, "Okay, my next marathon, I'm going to qualify for the Boston Marathon." And long story short, it took me 17 more marathons and 6 years to qualify. Um, but in the meantime, I fell in love with running. I I was actually starting to give up on trying to qualify for Boston. In 2010, I kind of thought, forget about the Boston Marathon. I'm going to sign up for an Ironman. And for anyone who's not familiar with the Ironman triathlon, it is a 2.4 mile swim, a 112-mile bike, and a marathon after that. So 26.2-mile run. So a total of 140.6-mile endurance race. Mm. But it was training for that Ironman that I noticed I was getting faster at my running. And that's when I was able to qualify for Boston. So I really incorporated cross training to improve my running. The other thing that I felt I was transformative is I used to love to drink alcohol. I had my first couple of DUIs, driving under the influence of alcohol before I was 20 years old. In my teenage years, I was into some drugs, and I felt like running gave me that, that runner's high that is substituted for that. Um, so shortly, at the time that I started running, I was also working for UPS as a driver, delivering packages. Mm. And I worked for UPS for 32 years. So in 2021, I decided I want to be a coach. Mm. One of the transformational things that happened for me was I started listening to Anthony Robbins and a lot of the personal growth. I was into a lot of the personal growth while I was working for UPS, while I was doing my runnings, and I would incorporate all of those mindsets into my running. One of the most memorable things that I did was back then I had only the CDs that I would put into uh, this drive to listen to it, and it was from Dr. Bernard Beckwith, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and he was doing a lot of the spiritual practices in those. So I would take it on my runs and practice some of those spiritualities, and I noticed a lot of changes in me, a lot of healing. I didn't so much was I wasn't focused so much on the result of getting a certain result with my running, like the qualifying for Boston or beating my next year's time or anything like that. But I felt like I could incorporate other life goals. Mm, And some of the practical stuff of incorporating these mindsets into my running was um, when the example was when I was getting ready, my daughter was getting ready for her wedding, and I was supposed to be the father of the bride, and I thought it would be nice to give a speech, but I was so shy, I was so afraid of public speaking that I was like, I don't think I could do that. And so I just, you know what, I'm going to take it on my run, think about what I could say at my daughter's wedding. And it was there when I was reaching that runner's high that I felt my creativity really flourished. And I came up with the whole speech on the run and I was excited about it. I came home, I wrote it down, and it was an amazing speech for my daughter. Mm. And shortly after that, I joined Toastmasters. And I also, somebody said, I said something funny where somebody said, "Oh, you know what? You should compete in our humorous speech contest." And at that time, I was like, "No, I am not funny." But then I thought about it. Well, I should take on the challenge. Learn that from Anthony Robbins. Never miss an opportunity and sign up for hard things. And I thought, okay, I will sign up for the humor speech contest. I will utilize a lot of these methods of transformation in my running to develop my speech. And I did the same thing, and I won the district level humor speech contest in the same way. So that's what kind of got me on the road to, I could incorporate a lot of these things in my running. So when I left UPS, I was going to be a life coach. But after a while, I thought, you know what? I am a runner. I want to coach people to run. And if I can, I will incorporate all of this other stuff from life coaching into the running. So I've been doing coaching for runners for about 5 years. The founder of EYM Coaching. It stands for Express Your Mission Coaching. Um, I'm also part of the triathlon team, Team Blaze. Mm, that's where I do different kinds of coaching with my Team Blaze club. It's a triathlon club. They made me their swim coach for a couple of years, so I did that for a while. Mm, And now I coach runners. I get really super excited to see some of my clients experience that transformation when they make these practices of transformational practices. One of the latest things that I've incorporated is the forgiveness practice into that. And that came also from Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith that I felt. So I started incorporating it lately, and I've really gotten some really good feedback on that. People love to make those practices. And I feel that it is part of the healing process because running marathons or training for a marathon, it allows you to spend so much time on your own with your thoughts. And so my philosophy is that why not use that time and all of those thoughts in a creative way? And it also feels like it's meditative, a way to meditate while you're running. Um, so yeah, a lot of these practices that I put into my coaching brings it a whole holistic approach that is not just the training itself and the miles. And although I do a lot of that with my clients when we meet one on one, we discuss a lot of the stress levels, what they're doing for recovery, their mindset, their spiritual practices. And I've noticed that it makes a big difference.
Right, right, Victor. So, to understand this marathon mindset better from you, Victor, is that, uh, a lot of people find marathon very exciting. I see some of my friends running. A lot of people think marathon is not for them. It's such a long distance thing, long haul. And even though they think they may have the stamina, maybe not the mindset. So I want to understand that mindset, especially in today's time when people are not very thinking of that long haul, but perhaps they will run the same distance on a treadmill, on a hamster wheel, or are perhaps happy with the rat race. How do you bring that marathon mindset into such a mindset?
Well, the marathon mindset, I just think that you can do it. It's a matter of pacing yourself, incorporating all of these practices, like the gratitude practices. I think all of these little things that help your mind while you're running and help all of those happy chemicals kick in, so that it can allow you to go the higher distances. Hmm. And yeah, and there are other things, because we're all different and we all get motivated in different ways. And incorporating these mindsets plus joining a club and doing a lot of the things that's going to help you enjoy the process, because that is the most important thing, that it does take time. You do have to pace yourself. And the air conditioning kicked in. But yeah, the mindset makes a big difference in how you're going to do on that training. But anybody can finish a marathon if you sign up and you get, a good training plan, because it is going to be a matter of incorporating the training plan. And then the additional help will help you be even more successful, like getting a coach or joining a marathon or training club, running club, triathlon club. Any of those are very helpful.
Right, right, Victor. Is your air conditioner giving you problem? Is it not working as good as it should be?
The audio.
You talked about the air conditioner something. Is it
Oh yeah, no, I meant the heater. The fan comes on, and I think that's
okay?
what's doing
But
the.
I'm not getting any disturbance, any audio problem at all.
Oh, good, good.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to, because so that you feel relaxed about this. Now, Victor, I want to understand then, how does one get started with this uh, whole marathon sort of a mindset? How does one have to run marathon, or can one do without the marathon but get the marathon mindset?
You can get the marathon mindset without doing the marathon. Absolutely. I think that I used to incorporate it in my work, doing those kind of same things, same kind of practices where you're doing what Tony Robbins used to call it, the hour of power, or your gratitude practice. And that's just taking a few moments of your day at the beginning of your day and doing some gratitude practices. And there's just lots of ways to do that. Hmm. The other one is breath exercises, making sure you're stretching your body. And I think every little thing helps the mindset, including the nutrition and everything. But I think that having that optimistic, positive attitude, the the other things like the forgiveness and the spiritual practices, I think also help that kind of transformation, that kind of mindset, that helps with you're having the great attitude for great performances. I think that just the running part, whether it's short distance or a long distance, is just the time that you're out there moving your body. Something about moving your body and doing these practices that takes it to the next level. Mm, I, for example, do experience that runner's high, and I believe that that really awakens my creativity. So if someone can capitalize with the mindset and combine it with running or other type of sports or endurance sports, I think that they can be very successful and create the transformation that they're looking for.
Right, right. So, what are the challenges that generally one should expect or face in this whole mindset transformation, marathon transformation mindset, and how do you help them tackle that?
Well, of course, finding a training plan is the first thing. Mhm. And then just incorporating a lot of these mindset. For example, when people sign up for my training plan, whether it's a half marathon or a marathon, then we go through. I ask them the questions of how much are they willing to run a week, what are their expectations, mm, what kind of cross training they're willing to do, and then I create their training plan. I then we meet once a week, so we modify their training plan based on their performance, based on their own personality, what they're going through, the level of stress that they might be going through, and try to combine any other life goals that they're trying to achieve, whereas whether it's career based or financial goals that they have. mm, Combine them and use that time that they're training to do visualization, to do their gratitude practices, and to incorporate all of these mindset um, methodologies.
Right, right, Victor. So, uh, is your coaching only available offline or is it also available online so that people from outside where you are can also benefit from you?
At the moment, it's only online. I was doing quite a bit of coaching because I'm kind of in the process of moving. Mm, But I have a triathlon club that will be back in probably December, where I do my coaching personally. But for the most part, is online right now.
Okay, so a lot of people who want to go join you, they can join from anywhere in the world.
That's correct. That's correct. They can just go to the website and sign up. And there's also have a few resources in there, including a book that's called it's an ebook, Superman Cocktails, and it kind of talks about the happy chemicals we experience and how to promote those when you're running.
Wonderful. So, for those people who would like to connect with you, take your coaching, get help from your ebook, what's the best way for them to connect with you, Victor?
Go to my website, eymcoaching.com, and yeah, sign up for any of the resources, and that'll automatically get them to my email and also be able to schedule a coaching call with me. I usually do the first consultation for free, so they can do just that.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.